Hey guys, I'm Robert Lewis, creator of this man-to-man curriculum you are right now going through. First of all, I want to thank you as table leaders for all you've done in helping make man-to-man possible. You are the key to recruiting the men around your table. And guys, that's huge. And you will be the key to helping these men discover a better manhood in the days ahead. So let me thank you for your investment. Over the course of Man to Man, you will be asked to lead 3 special storytelling times outside the weekly big group sessions. Each of these storytelling times is meant to give the men at your table additional time to process some of the more important elements of their manhood out loud, with each other, and with you. The first one you'll lead happens next week after session 2 and before session 3. It's called My Life Story. And it allows each man the opportunity to share about the family he came from, along with some memorable moments and life-shaping events he experienced growing up. Rarely do men do this. Rarely do they take the time to share their life story with other men, with the goal being to better understand how people and events help to shape them into who they are today. That's what makes these storytelling times so powerful. You get to connect the dots of the past to the present, and men need that. So after your table discussion time at the end of session 2, set up this first storytelling meeting by scheduling with your men a time that gives you 2 to 3 hours of relaxed interaction. It could be on a weeknight or an early Saturday morning or Sunday afternoon or evening. This meeting would best take place in a home. Maybe your home as a table leader. But you could also use an office conference room in off hours. But whatever place you choose, be sure it will be undisturbed while you meet. You should have some light refreshments available on that time. Water, coffee, sodas, maybe even something to snack on. But avoid eating a meal. That would end up making your meeting drag way too long. Once your men have arrived and are seated, remind them that the purpose of this time is to get to know one another by hearing each other's life stories. Start by passing out to each man a sheet of paper and a black magic marker. In a moment, you're going to ask them to draw a simple stick figure picture of their family. Now, by the way, you will have already done that. So show them your family picture to illustrate what you want them to do. Your family picture will look something like this one. Very simple, crude, elementary. It'll cause the guys to be relaxed, but you want them to draw out your picture. This is actually a picture of my family, and you'll want to circle where you are in that family. So they're going to be doing that. When they finish, you want to make sure that those guys understood that the picture that they drew was the picture of the family they grew up in. Hear that. Not necessarily the one they started with. There may be a difference between those two because of divorce, death, abandonment, adoption, a blended family. All those can affect how the family a man grew up in actually looked. So you want to be sure that the family this guy draws out on this evening is the one that he grew up in. After the men have done this, tell them that they will use this picture to tell their life story. First, they will hold up their picture and explain each member of the family. Give a little background to each one of them. Talk about who dad was and mom was. Talk about who their brother and sister were, however the family was made up. And then they're going to share 3 things growing up. These 3 things, by the way, you as a table leader will display before them in a sign like this one. It will have on it what they're to share. They're to share 1 or 2 really good memories about growing up. They will share 1 difficult memory, maybe even painful memory of growing up. And then they will share 1 significant, life-changing moment growing up. Put this sign in a place where every man can see it as they share their story. So in summary, this storytelling time involves 2 things, 2 simple things. Telling the group about your family using a visual, and then sharing 3 kinds of growing up memories good, difficult, and life-changing. After these simple instructions that you have given to your men, you can begin by telling life stories. You and your fellow table leader, of course, should go first. Each man will be given 15 minutes for a story. You will use a timer of some kind to help each man from, going too long. When 13 minutes have gone by, the person keeping the time should signal it to the man speaking that he has a couple of minutes to wrap it up. When everyone is finished, you want to thank the men for their sharing. Depending on who said what, you might make a few comments to commend some of the guys about the courage it took to say some of the things that they did. Remind them all that these stories shared tonight will add a lot of context to the table discussions that you're now going to have in man-to-man in the weeks to come, because you've got a lot of weeks still left. Finally, if you feel comfortable doing so, you might just finish the evening by concluding with some prayer for your men. Okay, this is how you conduct your first storytelling meeting of man-to-man. It will add a lot to deepening the relationships you have with the men and them to each other. I'll be back in a few weeks to set you up for a second storytelling time, one where each man will have the chance to share his spiritual story, not just his life story. But hey, that's for later. For now, enjoy this one.